A new trend is taking over Bollywood right now, making movies tax free. Recently, many states have made movies like 83, Samrat Prithviraj, and the Kashmir Files tax free. But is this really making a difference? Welcome back to Revolution Read On, a daily podcast where we break down one story from the world of business and finance. Click on the subscribe button to never miss an update from us. Here's your story for today. So, what does tax free really mean? Before we get into the whole tax free discussion, let's address the burning question. What tax are we talking about? The simple answer, GST. The more complicated answer, SGST. In earlier pre GST times, states used to collect entertainment taxes according to their discretion and could waive it off when they felt like. Since the whole GST tax regime has been introduced, states and the central government share the tax charged on movie tickets. So, when you hear about movies going tax free, only the SGST or the state's portion of GST is waived off. Customers still have to pay the CGST. And it is worse for the theatre owners. Even though they don't receive a share of the state tax from customers, they still have to deposit the same with the government. You see, a waiver doesn't mean no collection at all. It simply means that the theatre will have to pay the amount first and then claim refunds, which can take months. For cash strapped theatres, this is a huge issue. So they end up increasing ticket prices to make up for the cost. End result, viewers stay at home and enjoy OTT services which often cost less than the price of one ticket. The tax free status ends up making no difference, which is a huge issue because this could really have helped theaters and film producers that are still reeling from the closures in the pandemic. Now, let's look at the current state of the box office. Thanks to the pandemic, we've all become OTT addicts, used to watching movies at our leisure for cheap and with popcorn that you don't have to sell your kidney for. In fact, content streaming has witnessed a 60% increase in the last 2 years, which is why a lot of movies are now pivoting to OTT. But does a pivot to OTT make sense for films? Well, yes and no. You see, releasing a movie in a theater is a huge risk. To ensure profits, a movie with an average budget needs to run for at least 65% occupancy for at least a week. And to break even, it has to get a 45% occupancy. Now, this may not seem like a huge goal, but with so many new forms of entertainment coming up, like IPL and OTT, movies are having a hard time filling theaters. Also, earlier, we had to wait for months for a movie to air on the television or on an OTT. But with torrents and fast TV and OTT releases, the thrill of watching a movie in a theater has gone down. So, launching a movie on an OTT for a fixed fee makes sense for a lot of low budget movies which are skeptical about audience reception. This directly reduces their printing and distribution costs, which account for around 30% of the budget and the 40% commission that distributors charge. Plus, these movies can achieve profits or at least break even though no one watches them on the OTT platform. So, will all movies eventually shift to OTTs? No, because the fixed fee model is not viable for high budget 100 crore rupee films. They still need to fill theaters to become profitable. But the problem is, they are unable to do so right now. At least the Hindi film industry is. The South Indian film industry seems to have cracked the code of driving audiences to theaters. They are doing so by making grand films that audiences would like to watch on the big screen. Moreover, a lot of these films are now opting for a mixed release to hedge their risks. But this could be a risk, as people may simply choose to wait for a film to come to the OTT service they've paid for instead of spending more money on tickets. We'll have to wait and watch to see if and how the film industry will evolve to adjust to this new viewing pattern of the audiences. And that's all for today. Thanks for listening in. We'll be back tomorrow.